one of the more important decisions you make in your life is the person you perhaps decide to marry. But most of the time when people are making that decision, they're at a point in their life where they don't have a lot of clarity. They're very young. They don't have a lot of experience. And now they're making this potentially lifelong decision, which, we're seeing now in almost 50% of cases is not lifelong. But any advice on the front end for someone who's contemplating marriage?
I would definitely say communicate. Most religions have some kind of religious counseling before, the Catholic Church, Judaism, you have to go talk to a priest or a rabbi and talk about why you want to get married and why you think you're a good couple and how you're going to raise kids. I would take it a step further and actually go see somebody, again, like I was saying earlier, to figure out how to kind of get those tools. I know it doesn't seem romantic, but prenuptial agreements are also a great way of getting that kind of clarity of what everybody's expectations are going into the marriage. Don't you want to know if your fiance has $100,000 in credit card or college debt? Don't you want to know what his or her feelings are about raising kids? And do they go to public school or do they go to private school? And what religion are we going to raise them? And how much, do you want to put towards retirement every year so that we can decide? I mean, these are conversations people don't have because they're not super sexy, but they're great conversations to have. So again, going into a marriage, your expectations are realistic. And again, they may change. Things change as you evolve and grow older, and sometimes people really do just grow apart, and no amount of communication is going to fix that. But going into it with your eyes open and having as much knowledge and ability to discuss things as possible, I think is really helpful. And then also knowing if at a certain point it doesn't work out, don't let it fester or go outside the marriage for an affair that's going to hurt somebody's feelings. Deal with it at the time, and we've done a lot of work with back at It's Over Easy and now with divorce.com about next chapters, about moving on to the next chapter in your life and how to do that if you have kids with somebody, co-parenting, making your co-parent your greatest ally, and moving on to the next phase, which is not failure, horrible, now it's rebuilding, but just whoever the next person you're going to be in terms of dating and education and career and all that. We actually started a company called the Next Chapter Collection, which is candles for people if they want to, like as they're getting ready to go on their first date, you light your gratitude candle or you light your candle that says, smells like freshly signed divorce papers. And they're great gifts, but it's also just a lot of fun about your next chapter.
And what does it look like? So, when you're working with a client, what's considered a good outcome? Like, does fairness ever play a role?
Totally. I mean, look, we always say to people, don't say fair. Fair doesn't really matter in divorce. But what is a good outcome is two people that actually may not be the best of friends, but have a certain level of respect for each other and understand the terms of the agreement that they reached, that they came to on their own, not that was taken out of their hands and made by some judge that doesn't know them or their kids. They came to this agreement on their own. Neither one of them is thrilled with it, but they both can live with it. And they didn't spend a ton of money on legal fees. Almost everybody that comes into my office, Michael, I sit down and they tell me their situation and I say, this is pretty much how it's going to shake out, okay? But now the question is, how long is it going to take us to get there and how much money are you going to spend in the process?